Throwing injury prevention. I get asked this all the time, and it's a great question, and it comes from really good intentions. But here's the trick. It's not one thing that prevents throwing injuries, outside of, you might argue, education, especially at the youth and high school level. It's a really challenging time for not only parents, but the athletes themselves. If you think about it, we tend to model a lot of our training about what pros and professional athletes are doing. Most of the research that's done in throwing and trying to create velocity is done with at least college, if not minor league and professional athletes. They're kids, they're high schoolers, they're not pro athletes, they're not fully formed bones, nervous systems, and muscles. They don't respond to training the same way. Heck, kids have a hard time understanding what training is. There's an element of accepting suck that comes with getting better at anything in life. And most of the time we're still in, hey, let's have fun stage. So if we're really trying to prevent an injury, a lot of it comes down to parents and coaches. Parents have to be able to throw the throttle or the governor on a kid and the amount of time they spend playing their sport. Here we're specifically talking about baseball. So it's on you to understand that we do need to have some downtime throughout the year. I hear it all the time. Kids love to play. That's where their friends are. That's where their identity is at. As parents, we have to think above that level. We can't let our children only wrap their identity in their sport. That's a great recipe for getting injured. Research has shown us that we need about 3 months of non-competitive throwing to help us improve the likelihood that our arm won't get injured in the next year of playing. That doesn't mean we put the ball down entirely, but we need to have some times where we're kicking it back more into neutral, maybe a little light toss, just simple stuff like that, but we're not out there working on our velo and weighted balls and all the drills that go with trying to improve a young thrower. Outside of that, pitching through discomfort, soreness, and pain regularly really amplifies your risk for a future elbow or shoulder injury. So really important that we're staying in touch, not only with your son, but also with your coaches. And sometimes we might have to skip a start or maybe got to take a weekend off. Outside of that, growth spurts. Our bones are soft. They're meant to be soft at the tips. And when we're going through a big growth spurt and you notice your son's shot up 2 inches over the summer, it's really important that maybe we throttle back the amount of time that we spend competitively throwing. If you're a starting pitcher, maybe we put them on a slightly tighter pitch count. Give them more rest during the week. And then outside of that, if they're coming off a major illness and they've been out of playing regularly, it's probably important that we take a little longer on-ramp back into throwing versus the old Texas highway on-ramps. You're just like, whoop, you're on the highway. If you're coming off an illness, maybe you had the flu for 2 weeks, their body's not going to be 100% right away. So we might have to ease them back into as well. So in short, get educated. It's really important. We've got more tips and tricks on this stuff that we can share with you. But being educated as a parent is number one in my opinion. Outside of that, getting the ball out of their hand from a competitive standpoint for several months throughout the season is really important. And then being mindful about growth spurts and extended time off, because coming back to your sport is usually when injuries happen.